Hello, how's it going everyone? Today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to use paint.net to create the best liveries onto your Roblox vehicles or even GTA 5M vehicles or any other type of those vehicles that use this type of UV mesh textures. I'm just showing it in Roblox right now, but the same principle with paint.net and how it's saved and applied works the same way for GTA. So here we go. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you want to actually get paint.net, but I can't even pull that up open for you all, man, because you all just be struggling. Watch. You want to type up get paint.net. Click basic. It's the first link that you just have to press. Don't click any of these things because they're all ads, as you can see, Google here. You want to go on to download and then right down over here, as you can see, there's a version right here. It says get it on Windows 10 or just download it through whatever this is, and it's free. Microsoft 10, this is just basically a way that Bill Gates is going to scam you. Right over here, it's a free version, and yeah, and it's free, and it's exactly the same version as this one. This is where you waste your money, this is where you don't. It's right down here. You get paint.net set up, and then right over here it should appear on your desktop. It's right over here for me. Let's just open that up real quick. That was the first step. Now step 2 is you want to actually find a UV map. I'm going to be using this vehicle, but for a lot of you guys want to get everything set up right, so just check this out. Best way you can find this is if you type up, watch, this is the best tips and tricks. Check this out. Type up police car. Even though if you're not making a police car, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. You go out and you see the Ford Interceptor, you click that, you get rid of this, and then you search up his inventory, and basically he likes to do like these first person thumbnails. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, if we just scroll down, look right over here, we got Tesla model. Okay, as we can see, you have a UV map. Sometimes it'll come with just a bare naked car like this, but it comes with this UV map. And yeah, you just scroll down through here, basically limitless options. Like, look, it's just basically things that have like a grid and have like this like strange orange pattern on, because that's how it is in the mesh software like Blender and stuff, but that's for later. All right, anyway, we have our car right here. This is going to be the thing I'm using. It's a Chevy Equinox. It's pretty cool. But how do I use this? And then the way you access it is, look, you go down into the vehicle, you want to open this up in your Explorer tab, open this up, go to body, and then it should be labeled as color. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're in model. You're just gonna have to find them, and you can just highlight it, this whole thing. I mean, one way you can check is either if you play like this, and you'll see it will like kind of go transparent on the parts you have selected and clicked and hold, or you could just move it up. I mean, easier, and just put it back down. Alrighty, so we have our vehicle selected right over here. So now how do I get this like mesh right here, because this is what you use to paint on. I'll explain it more when I get into actual paint.net, because it'll make more sense. So how do I find this mesh thing to color on? What you want to do is you want to highlight everything or select one, then you want to go to texture ID, and then right in texture ID you want to copy this little serial number right over here. Copy that. You want to go into Roblox library. It doesn't really matter what you go into. Click on something random, doesn't really matter what. And then as you can see, a serial number right up here is going to also appear. You want to replace this serial number. You don't have to replace anything else up here. You just want to replace this serial number with the serial number you just Control-C or copied and pasted from your texture ID that I just showed. You want to press enter. Now the way you save this is, I mean, you can't see right over here real quick. You can't buy this because it's not free. The way you take this is if you right click on it, not left, you right click on it, then press save image as, and then you want to go into, what do you want to go into? I'm going to save it to pictures. I made this folder just for this video. I'm going to put this in here. Save. So now we're back into paint.net, okay? So you're gonna have these tabs all open. Let me just move them in here real quick, just so it can be nice and organized. These are your colors, obviously, and if you press more, you'll be able to change the tones out or whatever. Just pretty nice. It's for more precise. This right over here these are your tools. These are very special, and I'll explain them in just a bit. These are your layers. And this is your tool, audacity levels and stuff like that. We'll get into that in a little bit. It's very important, actually. Now you want to just import this image, okay? So we're gonna go right up here. What the frick do I have in my folders? What? Now you're gonna want to go and import that UV map that I just showed. Now you want to go into UV map, which is your folder here, obviously. Then grab this out, and as you can see, this looks kind of good from afar, but once you get real close, it's very pixelated. However, there's a way to fix this, and I'll show you. You want to go to image. Now you're gonna have resize image or canvas size. Canvas size does this. Let's just move it up to something random. Nobody cares. As you can see, the white border increases because this is obviously the canvas. We do not want that, so press bat undo on that. Then you want to go to your image, and what you actually want to do, if you have it pasted in already, or you could do this before with canvas size, you want to press resize, okay? Now the magic number here is you want to change it to 4096. There you go. You see, much bigger. This is like so you can get more of like a HD image and just so it looks much nicer. And now over here we have some, now as you can see, this is the black border around the car. If you draw anything on here, like if you just take a random pencil and you just scribble some stuff on it, this is not going to show up. Only things on this UV map will show up. That's why it's called the UV map, just so you know what you're doing. The type of tools we have right over here, this is the grid. Okay, so you create a border like this, and over here are some tools that you're going to be using. This thing right over here, in case you did something wrong or you didn't adjust it correctly, you do this, or you can move around however you want. But if you would do it with this tool, what this tool does, if it's on the same layer, because there are multiple layers, this is just like Photoshop, it will drag and it will move this layer around. So we don't want that, or at least we will want to use that later. Now this is right over here. You could just change what you do. This is pretty simple. I prefer to have it square, obviously. Now the magic tool right over here, this is good for sourcing. So we'll talk about that later. God, the pronouncement. I always have trouble pronouncing eraser. Eraser. That's kind of self-explained. The color picker doesn't really do anything. It just changes the colors that are already there. The lines, we'll talk about that later. Shapes, we'll also talk about that later. Text is obviously text. You just type up things on your layer. Change up the size, obviously. And you got font right over here. You can write whatever you want. Paint bucket is pretty obvious. It's just this thing. You drop it, colors a specific. Oh, this is pretty cool. So when you draw, when you insert things with your paint bucket, it will try. Like Paint.net will try to only color in a region of like the same color. You see how it doesn't go past the borders right over here, but it doesn't really know anything about itself. So like a different shade might not be shaded in. Like look, as you can see, this is all pink, but as you can see, like the shades change right up here, so they're not going to get highlighted because it doesn't know anything about itself. But it would be if you really want like a really wide paint, an area to be painted like this. Look, green doesn't go past green. It might not be perfect, but there's a way to be more specific with that. Or not specific, to be more precise. It's with either the pencil or paintbrush. Obviously I just showed it off. Pretty self-explanatory, and that's what we do. So the way I start off with my builds is as we can see right over here, we have layers. This is for duplicating layers. We don't need that yet. I mean, duplicate, obviously you're gonna have two of the same. That's kind of self-explanatory. Not really needed. We can delete the layer. We don't want that. Moving up the layer, I'll explain what that means in just a minute. Now, what I do is I usually add a layer. This is something that's going to be at the bottom, and then once we're done, we're going to merge all these layers together, and then that will have our final product. But as we can see now, we have a layer, and in this layer, there's nothing. That's why there's a little grid pattern here. There's nothing. Remember how I said if you do this, with this tool right over here, how it moves the whole grid, and how it moves the whole image you have selected? But look, because it's on a different layer, it doesn't do that. So just like floors of a building. One side can only affect, it only affects one thing. Okay, so check this out. So what I usually do, I decide on what base color I want to have. What base color? I'm gonna choose black. Okay, put that over. So this is gonna be a black car, like it's gonna be primary black paint. But oh no, I can't see anything now. So one thing you want to do is just, this is temporary, this isn't forever. You want to have your opacity set to half, okay? But keep in mind the colors might be a little bit distorted with that. But always make sure once you do your first layer right here, always add in a new one, because that same opacity layer If you draw in any other color, like if I would add in like a pink line, okay, onto that layer, it would not, it would also be shaded very weirdly and it would just create problems. But so now, look, I select layer 3. Make sure to select your layers while you're doing this. So what are we gonna do? So I'm gonna show you guys some techniques and tips and tricks and stuff on what you're doing the most, probably. So right over here, let's do the classic black and white doors, okay? Everyone knows these. It's not hard to do, but check this out. So you're gonna have to manipulate the tools. This is right over here, is the squiggly line. It's the line right over here. As you can see, I selected a different layer. You don't want to have black already on a black card because this is not going to be shown. No one is going to see this line. So you want to have a, but wait, our letters are going to be black. So we want to add in a white background. So we're going to change this to white. And we want this a little thicker. So we're going to go up here to the left, change brush width. Change that to 10. Move this around however you want. This grid isn't needed just yet for that. We can rotate this. For some reason you can't rotate letters, but I'll show you how to do that in just a bit. Okay, so we're gonna want to have that line here, but oh no, it looks like it's not straight. Well, that's the whole point of the UV map right over here. As we can see, we can align up with the door. And it's only 4 dots, you can't really change it. It's very imprecise, but that's the way. You got to get it how you live. But you can move it up in case you need more specific areas. So watch what I'm about to do. I'm about to like give it out a little border around here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna border out this whole door area right over here, and we're gonna fill it up with the paint bucket. Just watch. So obviously, once you select your paint bucket, you want to have your correct color selected. And now the way the paint bucket works is that it only affects a certain area. Like this area is boarded off with white, so it's not going to go past it. So watch. There we go. We see this whole area is now filled in with white. So now look, if we turn up the opacity on this thing, on this layer, we'll be able to see this area will all be covered. We want to turn that up. We always want to have that turned up. So that's how you get the classic like white door. I mean, I did it on this vehicle. You can do it on whatever vehicle you want or whatever. But yeah, so that's how you do it. And now let's say I would like to have this door that I did so perfectly down here on this car. Remember, the dimensions on this are the same. So one thing that you'll be able to do is you'll be able to select this whole thing. You don't have to redo it. Select this whole thing. If you maybe got your border wrong, let's say you had this area a little bit clipped out, you can move this here, you can move left to right, whatever. But once you have this selected, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna duplicate this layer. This is like one of the times where this actually becomes useful. Duplicate the layer, then grab this, okay? Then move this down. As you can see, that is on a different layer, so we have no effect on that. Then what you wanna do is you wanna flip this over. Now keep in mind, you could get this wrong, but with a little bit of adjustment and just a bit of patience, you'll get it right. And yep, there you go. You see how quick that was? And then all you have to do is you just have to merge the layers down together and then you'll be... So that's example 1. This is probably the most common thing that you're gonna be doing for your vehicles or whatever. Now let's check into some writing, okay? Let's see. Okay, we want to create a new layer just in case because we're gonna have to be moving around some stuff. Aha, you see, when you're typing, you always have to make sure your colors are obviously selected. I didn't do that. That's not a good font, but whatever. Oh, Paint.net has so many bad fonts. Okay. Paint.net has so many bad fonts. Like, there's just not a basic one. I guess this one's nice. This one actually looks okay. Now as you can see, the car is a little curved right over here, but I want to just have police right here. But so the way we're going to do this is check this out. So we're going to highlight this whole thing again, and we're going to turn it, because when you're typing out, you for some reason are not able in Paint.net to turn it over. You're gonna have to manually do it like this with the box or whatever. But yeah, I guess we just did that over here. And if you want to do for some reason Paint.net also doesn't allow you to do background letters, so we're gonna have to go in a little bit more complicated. Take in another layer, go back down here, move this layer that we just made below this layer, and Watch what I'm about to do. We're gonna make this dark blue. Type out the same thing, police. Make this 86. And we just want to make it just a little bit bigger than the prior font. Grab this and like physically put it behind this layer. Make it look all funky. Alright, well, you can see the basic concept. Obviously, I don't have enough patience to fill this whole area out. But there you go. You can do that. I don't like it. I'm not going to keep it. But as you can see, that's the whole beauty with all these layers. You can move things behind. You can move things on top. Now, since we have police up here, we would like to maybe do some squiggly lines again. I'm going to show this off one last time. Just the way, like, just move a line like right up here. This is like how Barto did it. It's just because that game's very cheap. Honestly, I would just keep it like this. Wow, this actually looks kind of good, but I really want to keep it. I don't want to bend it. I don't want to bend it. Okay, whatever. You can move it like this. Like that. However you want. There's only 4 points. You can't really change it. And there you go. Just like that. Oh yeah, and shapes, they give you like an outline to an object. Don't really know how useful that'd be unless you're... Oh, well, maybe it could be. So, okay, now. So this is looking kind of plain. You're probably not going to be designing your own liveries or whatever. You're probably going to try and base something off of real life or GTA. So, what we're going to do... So, I'm going to teach you guys how to source. Now, the way you source is you go to Google, you type up what we want. Alrighty, boys. Now, one of the most important things when you're doing these cars, okay? You're probably not going to be basing it off your vehicle textures, not off of any... well, most of them are going to be fictional departments, but a lot of them... Or, in any case, you're making a one-to-one to a real department. You obviously want to have the right textures. So, you want to... find them, and that's what the magic tool is. They're already on the internet. All you have to do is you literally have to type up, what do we do? CHP textures. Alright, and then you go to images, and then you have badges. Okay, this is really good. This is useful. So, I mean, you do digging around with other departments. It doesn't only have to be CHP, obviously. Yeah, look, if you source images, you're gonna get something nice like this instead of whatever this is. Okay, so same thing you need to do. You copy image, or you can save as, whatever you choose. If you copy image like what I just did, you have to click on your image and just Control V, and it will appear. And you don't have to change the canvas size or anything, but the way we want to source this out, well, in this case, okay, it's pretty good. It's a white background, white on white, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the magic tool over here. You want to push this here, and in any other scenario of like any other texture, background color, or when it's not clear, because in this case it is clear, like if it was black or something, you'd want to move this out. You see? There you go. We don't want that. We want it to be checkboard texture right here, just so nothing will translate into our transport itself into our car, because if you save it like this, it will have a white background and it will look ugly. Unless you have white doors, which obviously you probably will because it's CHP. But in any other department, it probably won't look so good. And then we just want to delete this. Deleting techniques, highlight, scissors out. Or you can do it like this. Bada bing, bada bow. Go. And there you go. And all you have to do now is you copy this. There you go. You have this. You can either... you want to Control C, and then you can Control V onto your canvas, making sure you have the right layer selected. So we could just add in some more details now. So since you know how that works, let's add in some more details. Just type up call me Mr. Police. Or you can make ice. Okay, well that looks kind of terrible. And that is the benefit of layers, because if I was doing this on this layer down here and I tried to move this out, it would also bring a little piece of this white barrier, which we don't want. So we could just have this call me. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Now we have our car right here. This looks ugly. Obviously, I'm not taking the time to make anything right now. So this is the car we have here. We want to layer everything down. No. Now you can have everything layered just before the black layer, but keep in mind we have the opacity. So I should have explained this earlier. The opacity means that it makes everything more transparent. So we want to turn this all the way up. There we go. That's what our texture will look like. Grab this, push this down, push this down. Now it's completely flat. You want to make sure layers right over here is flat, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna press the shortcut, or we can go up to here, save as, or I'm just gonna show you guys a shortcut. It's Control-Shift-S, bringing me up here. You want to save things to a PNG file, save that. Okay, well, you want to name it properly first. For YouTube, like and subscribe. Hey, look, you should like and subscribe. There we go. 32-bit image is always the best. For some reason I can't see. Okay, yeah. Well, there you go. That's an image. Okay, now save. Good. There we go. We can get rid of this. We don't need this. Now you want to go into create. Then you want to come back down to. Then you want to go to my creations, and then you want to go to. And then you want to go to decals. As we can see, I already have some textures over here. And now what you want to do is you want to go into your. And now what you want to do is you want to go to create decal, and you want to press browse. What are the photos here? I swear. What did I say? Pictures, yes. UV map. And as you can see, have everything organized. Like and subscribe for YouTube. Like and subscribe. .png, guys. Come on, subscribe. And over here, upload. Roblox might think it's an inappropriate name. Decal successfully created. As we can see, it will show up here. And then you want to copy the texture ID over here, or the model ID, or whatever you want to call it. Got it. You want to but this time you want to highlight everything. Make sure you highlight everything. Go into texture ID and have everything highlighted, and Control V, and then press enter. Moment of truth. There we go. As we can see, this whole thing. There you go. That's our work that we did in Paint.net. This is just these are just letters that our model letters. We can get rid of them whenever we want to. It looks pretty smooth. Call me, whatever. Obviously, you guys are smart enough. We can expand on. You guys can definitely expand on this. Whatever you want to do on this. Now, one thing you'll want to do, guys, is you want to go onto my YouTube channel. I haven't been really uploading that much about speed builds right over here, but as we can see, right in these speed builds right over here, I make like the whole vehicle ELS, and as we can see, we have some UV map textured vehicles. As we can see, I do speed runs right over here, and I'm doing everything that I explained in this video, and you guys can watch this. I mean, that's kind of how I learned how to use Paint.net. There weren't really any good tutorials when I was starting out. And these were just things that I just did, and as we can see, those were the same tactics that I just explained to you guys. And if you watch and learn, and you guys are gonna get it. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, everybody. Thank you for watching.